Hey, wellness crew. So, I got an email from someone that watches my videos, and their question was kind of like, when is it appropriate, or like how to be sexy, but like in an appropriate way sometimes, and then also like when it's okay to not be appropriate. And it was like a much more lengthy email than that, obviously. But that kind of sums up the whole question that they had. And I was like, that's a really interesting question. So this is for you. um, I'm going to answer. Um, so when you want to be like appropriately sexy, there can be obviously different reasons, different events, different circumstances that you're there. Um, for me, I just always like to feel that way. And so for me, doing makeup, um, hair sort of. But like wearing my jewelry and wearing something that like sometimes soup it's gonna be kind of revealing, or I'm celebrating, I'm like, whatever. Other times it'll be something like this. Like this is just a totally black jumpsuit. I'm totally covered. I maybe have a little bit of cleavage, but outside of that, this might more fall into the appropriately sexy, right? Um, but I also really love to, like, if I want to feel a certain way, like have a certain vibe, right? I rely a lot on lingerie and, or it can even be something as simple as like shaving my legs and all that stuff, Um, just so it's like, oh, I have smooth skin, or oh, I know what's on underneath this and no one else knows except me. I think if you're wanting to get into that, have that feeling, get into that realm, even if it's, because you're going to be intimate with someone, you're, long term person, short term person, whatever, no judgment. Um, you know, I just think doing it for yourself, first and foremost. And if you feel good in it, if you feel good with like how you're carrying yourself and with what you're wearing and all of those things, right? I've learned over time that once you really start to like work on your confidence, that in and of itself is like big magnet for people, whether you're a man or a woman, it does not matter. Um, Confidence is key. Now, obviously, if you can open your mouth and speak, and not be super awkward, that's going to be a plus. But mainly just having that confidence. Because even if, let's say, that you're talking about something, you trip up on your words, are you going to have a look of horror, which is going to show that, like, you're not confident in anything that you're saying, right? Or at least that's what it's going to kind of show that person, right? Or are you just going to laugh about it and move on? I mean, laughter as well. But as far as, dressing and stuff like that, I would say that if like your goal, is to, kind of maybe just be like more in your female energy, or obviously if you're a man, more in your male energy. Um, Showing off like an item if you're I mean, an item, like one or two um, pieces of your body, right? So like cleavage and maybe like arms or whatever. And then you can get progressively, however your night or day or mood is going, you can always like, you know, get a little bit more racy. Um, And I feel super confident when I wear things that do show off my body. And that's just because I had so many years of not being confident, of not having that self esteem, of not being able to do certain things. Like, people think it's hilarious, but I've been practicing and learning this year how to walk in heels. So, for me, right, like wearing heels like that is sexy. Now, can I like go on a date wearing them? Probably not. I'm still working on it. But, any like of the little things that you can focus on, like the accents, the accessories, um, and oftentimes too, like it's super sexy to be mysterious, not only in the way that you communicate and converse, right? But also like with your clothing. So, or with, what you're wearing or whatever. I love name brands, of course. A lot of people do. Some people don't. Some people don't care. But I think it's really sexy when people are wearing like nice pieces of jewelry, but they aren't talking about it. You know, when they're wearing like a very expensive outfit, or even if it's like a high low, and you look fantastic, but like you're not really talking about it. I have in descriptions mentioned the brands and stuff like that of what I use, but that's only because I'm like, hey, they make a great dress. You might want to try it. It's going to be flattering. Or, hey, this makeup has been my staple forever. And, or, like whatever it may be. It's more to help. It's not to really talk too much about like the brand name itself. It's just for awareness. Um, but I think that there's some situations, where like there's like conservative sexy, right? Well, conservative sexy is legs to me, right? Legs and arms. So, not having cleavage and having maybe like a skirt that's, just a little bit above the knee. Because when you sit down and cross your legs, hello. um, with men and stuff, like I just love fitted. I love when clothes are fitted on men. I like when they get their stuff tailored if they need to. I think that looks amazing. Even if they're just wearing like nice fitting jeans and a t-shirt, like totally fine. I don't think being sexy is about being dressed up necessarily either. You can definitely, look great and be in like jeans and like a cute top, and again, you can even be in just like the most basic of clothing as long as it fits well and you have the right accessories. um, and definitely just again your behavior and the way that you act and carry on. Now if you're somewhere like a bar, right, you can carry on, you can say whatever you want, like the night is yours, have fun. um, but when you're in like different types of situations, obviously I'm not saying to edit yourself, but I'm saying just be cognizant of who you're talking to, like what is your objective with this. And again, this would be so much easier for me to explain if I could tell you in, context, like all these individual situations. um, so obviously when it comes to, you want to look sexy because you're going to be intimate with someone, I would say always pack extra lingerie. um, and or extra boxers, whatever. um, have a plan for if it's a sleepover type of situation, then have like kind of sexy, PJs or whatever. um, I've been told that the best way to sleep is without them, so everyone's different however you sleep, but if it's with your partner or whoever, The person you're seeing, just kind of having like that extra, just do like an extra set of something, like just to have it, to like change into and surprise them or whatever. Smelling good is so important. I've oftentimes overdone it on the perfume because then when they go to kiss my neck, I'm like, you're gonna taste perfume, don't go there. um, so, you know, um, but yeah, and talking about things that like aren't super heavy, obviously. Um, you know, people do different things when they're being intimate. I think it's healthy to do some talking and it's not hard to get good at that. It's just really good to kind of get to know your partner really well and like kind of like what they like, because that's the point, I mean, that's the whole point of it. So definitely, try to kind of like just pay attention. Or if you want, just ask them straight up, like, do you like to do this? And if you do, what types of things would you like for me to say? Um, you know, just so that way there's clear communication. I don't think that that's a break in confidence in any capacity. I just think it's part of, being with somebody else. Um, I personally believe in, you know, not worrying so much about like the receiving aspect of certain things, but more about the giving, and I think that that's just like a really good expression of your emotion for that person, your love for that person. Um, but, definitely stay out of the people pleasing mode. you know, Whatever you're wearing, they probably don't care because they would probably have you in nothing. So remember that, you know. Um, Most of the time, well, for me, all the time, but I would hope that most of the time for people that they're at a place where, when they're getting dressed for whatever they're getting dressed for, that it's for them, that they dress authentically to themselves. Um, I have a really wide range of like clothes. I have so many clothes. I have like a really wide range of like styles and stuff like that. Um, Simply because that authentically is me, Um, it's just, you know, it's all like super different, and that's like how I am. I'm eclectic. So hopefully like the stuff that you wear when you're, going out and into the world in general, right? Just that hopefully whatever you're wearing is representative of you. Obviously, not when you're going into like a job. If you have a uniform or stuff like that, like that's a totally different thing. But then again, sometimes uniforms can be sexy, so who knows? I mean, I'm sure there's like a thing out there for everyone because so many people have different tastes. So, um, but yeah, and then the thing with shoes and stuff too is, your body. So I'm talking to women right now, but when it comes to like your feet, right? If you do have like a, perfect foot, which just means that you don't have like your second toe longer than your first or like whatever. Shoes. Show off your feet. If you can get a pedicure, if you can paint your nails, whatever. Um, I have felt a lot sexier having nails and keeping my pedicure schedule like on point. um, and also too, it's just like self-care and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is going to be your confidence. the biggest thing is going to be personality and your accessibility, right? Because no matter what situation you're getting yourself into, if you're wanting to look a certain way that's going to garner some attention, there's a reason. So just always pay attention, to the cues of other people as well. The biggest thing is body language. So, you know, to express that you're open and willing to be vulnerable to another person in a more intimate setting, you would have open body language and you wouldn't be kind of closed off. Hopefully you're laughing or smiling, or you just have a peaceful, like happy-ish look on your face. So, and then paying attention to that from other people, like their body language. What is their face saying? Listen to what they're saying. Don't overanalyze, but just like listen. And then I think afterwards too, just kind of ask yourself, like, why did I want to garner a little extra attention today? Or, why did I, it's valid questions. And again, it's only so that way you can connect more with your authentic self. Um, when you know yourself really, really, really well, you're going to naturally be super sexy. Like, you just are, because you're already going to know, your preferences, your needs, your wants, your desires. You're going to know as well what you don't like. You're going to know how you like to feel. You're going, because it's different in a lot of different situations. Um, but as far as being sexy, feeling sexy, you can feel sexy, and it's a little bit harder to, be sexy, but when you're doing like a put on, like I'm sure people have seen like rom-coms where the person's like trying so hard like to be, hot and sexy and talk in a certain voice and all that. Now, I've definitely tried my hand with kind of, talking a little differently, slowing down my words, or kind of trying to have a little bit more of a breathy voice at times. But that's, I'm on a video, so that's different. In person, I no, sorry, that's not happening. Um, but definitely, maintaining the confidence and not, having all these like anxieties and fears that come up. And I think a big component of that too has been meditation. Because I've been able to kind of like lock in more to myself and into all these different sides of myself. So like that sensual side, right? For women, that's coming from their female energy. And show that off. Like, absolutely, girl, you want to go with that mini skirt and that low cut top, I support you on that. There needs to be less shaming about talking about things like this, about talking about, things that are okay to wear. It's like, you know, I always see it as it's my body. So, how do I want to represent today? Or, how do I want to feel and look and all that stuff? Every day, do I feel like I need to be and look sexy? No. But it just kind of naturally happens. Um, especially when you're just in that confident space and you're doing your process and you're wearing the things that make you feel good. So, definitely having that side is a part of all of us, men and women. We all have that side. We all have desire. to be close with another person. I think at times even we all kind of want the attention of um, whatever person it is that you're after, or maybe you're married and you just want your husband or wife's attention. um I would say, like, just changing up the routine, and almost not like a refresh, right? Because it's not about that, but just changing up the routine and doing things out of order, or doing things in different places that maybe normally, you don't. Um, it's just so that way, your partner feels appreciated. And obviously, like, they're gonna see, like, oh, you put some thought into this. I mean, it's vice versa. It's the same thing with men, same thing with women. Like, when a man, obviously puts effort into something, um, that is going to make me then want to, if it's someone I'm seeing, then yes, that type of stuff makes me more like get closer and closer and closer to the wanting to be intimate and all of that. So, you know, there's so many different things that can be considered sexy. There's so many different ways you can be sexy. But just remember to stay confident and don't doubt yourself. And, um, it's totally okay, normal, and it's probably a healthy thing to want to show yourself off a little bit. Maybe you're coming off of a breakup, or maybe you're celebrating something, or shit, maybe you just want to look sexy. Like, that's totally fine. Um, I also think too that simplicity can be super helpful. Like, this is coming from the person who's like always in a whole bunch of jewelry. Um, but if I'm gonna go kind of cray on the jewelry, then other stuff will be toned down, kind of like certain things like that. And you'll learn, like, you can always like kind of go through your closet and kind of see, like, okay, like, how does this fit? And then oftentimes what will happen is you'll think something doesn't fit good. You just don't have the right stuff that you're wearing underneath. Okay. So, or, maybe it's just there's a brand that you like, but that brand just isn't working for your body type. Um, I'm going to say this, obviously, on my last uh, live on Rumble, I was talking about really quickly, but I was talking about this bra, right? I'm actually wearing it right now. And, for someone who has a smaller cup size, it doesn't bother me, and it has never like bothered anyone that I've, dated or been with or whatever. But to have the opportunity to have a little, help in the cup size area, and then also the cleavage area, um, love it. So you might find that, like, you get a bra like that, or you um maybe just find a different style, especially along like the waistline. Like, instead of a hip hugger, maybe you try something that's a little bit higher. It doesn't have to be like high waisted or anything, but like experimenting with all of those things, like things that fit you best, because our body's a canvas, right? So it's kind of like what we wear, it's showing like how we feel about ourselves, like how we're representing ourselves, right? And that's the only reason that I do suggest doing that. And why that matters for being sexy is because when your clothes fit well, kind of like what I was talking about with men, like when they have fitted clothes on, I'm like, yes, that's what you should always do. It looks amazing. Good job. Um, you know, with women, it's different because, you know, I mean, it just depends on a lot of various things. But like, there's like some stuff that I have that because I'd rather look a little bit more lean, I don't wear it. It is my size, it's not too big or anything. It just adds like volume to my body. So there's some stuff like I don't wear as often, of course. Um, but in my normal like day to day, it's usually like yoga clothes and jeans and a t-shirt and a dress. Like I go through changes of outfits oftentimes, but in all of it, it's like even with workout clothes, like they make hella hot like workout clothes these days, so there's just so much variety and stuff like that when it comes to being able to dress in a sexy way that's appropriate for whatever the venue, occasion, or if it's just for your mood. Like there's been times when, and I'm not even joking, there have been times when I've just done like, where I've, had the time, no one was here. And I would wear lingerie, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear like another set, or okay, I'm gonna wear like another whatever, right? And again, it's just being able to feel good in your body, even if it's just for you. No worries, no problems. Um, feeling it and feeling feeling it and being it are two different things, but they can definitely collide. And just, try not to like overthink or worry about anything too much, and just maintain like that confidence that all of my wellness crew, I hope by now, has. Um, because you should be confident, like inside, outside, everywhere. You are beautiful. You are a whole big mess of energy that is like the best. And, however you want to feel, if you also want to send me an email, for like another, I guess, like answer sesh, like a long-winded answer sesh, but an answer sesh, you definitely can. It's cultofwellnessco@gmail.com. And if that is what you want, which is what this subscriber, watcher, viewer, whatever, follower, that is what they requested. So hopefully covered enough scenarios. I wanted to go from conservative to a little more wild. um, and I had to be careful with my language. So, you know, there's that. But hopefully the sentiment gets across when I'm saying being intimate and all of that. Outside of that, though, I do appreciate that email very much, and yeah, I hoped this answered your questions. Um, and please, 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 like, subscribe, follow, so that way you can just get more content just like this. And yeah, please feel free to send me an email. You can also send me an email about one-on-one coaching. I am accepting clients right now. So by all means, yeah, just hit me up there and I'll take it from there. All right, well, I will see you on the next video. Bye, Wellness Crew.